I am about to crash out. Seriously, I'm crashing out. China, they on our ass. Let me tell you something. Y'all see all these damn bags that I have? Okay? These are the bags they're talking about. Like, I have a Birkin, a Fendi, a Louis. I've never even used this bag yet. A Chanel, Louis, Fendi, Chanel, Gucci, Louis. And you're telling me what I have spent on all these bags, I could have went to China and got them and not spent all this money? China, I'm coming. But let me just show you all the bags that I actually really have. Look at this. Jack Moose, Louis, Hermes, Louis, Dior, 3 Chanels, Fendi, YSL, Chanel, Louis, Chanel, Louis, Gucci, Chanel. All of this stuff that I spent my hard-earned money on, all of this, are you freaking telling me that I overpaid for all of this shit? Let me go on Expedia or whatever and find me an airline ticket to China, because I'm coming. I'm coming to see y'all. Look for me. And I also want to add that this Louis wallet, it legit say made in France. Made in France. I am now checking all my shit. China. I'm coming.
So China has clapped back after the tariffs and has said, guess what, America? We make 80% of your luxury bags. And guess what? They're not lying. I looked into it. Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton has outsourced some production to China primarily to capitalize on the Chinese luxury market and benefit from lower production costs. This is just the beginning. Prada has outsourced its manufacturing primarily to reduce costs and tap into the vast Chinese market. This strategy allowed the brand to lower production expenses and simultaneously capitalize on China's growing consumer base and increasing purchasing power. Gucci, baby. Gucci, like many other luxury brands, outsourced manufacturing to China to reduce costs, specifically lower labor expenses. No way! Now, what you're all probably wondering is the Hermes bags. Now, while Hermes primarily manufactures its goods in France and Italy, the brand does have a partnership with the Chinese designer. This collaboration allows Hermes to tap into the Chinese market and explore a different aesthetic while leveraging expertise in incorporating traditional Chinese elements into contemporary design. Now, while Hermes is known for its handcrafted goods, they also benefit from the manufacturing capabilities and infrastructure in China, making it a strategic location for certain collaborations and production. Chanel, while manufacturing its fashion products in France and Italy, outsources the production of its silk textiles to China, primarily to whatever for several reasons. More outsourcing. Balenciaga outsourced production of some of its shoes, notably the Triple S sneaker, to China because Chinese factories were deemed to have the savoir-faire and capacity to produce a lighter shoe. This decision, while initially met with some consumer skepticism about quality, was made to leverage China's expertise in manufacturing lighter footwear. It's all about money, people. Now, basically, if you want to do numbers, this is what's happening. So when it comes to the cost of making these bags, this is what you're looking at. 50% of the bag is usually raw materials, and the rest is just cheap labor. Then they're sent back to France and Italy where they do final touches, sew on some made in France or Italy tags, maybe slap on some hardware. Yeah, all you richies out there or people who just save tons of money to buy one of these bags, they're all made in China. You're not getting that quality that you think you're paying for. Here's the truth, America. You better believe if I owned a Hermes bag right now, I'd be punching a hole in the wall. Looks like they got us.
Hey everyone, so I just wanted to quickly shed some light on this entire viral video that's going around, or a couple of videos from specifically Chinese factories that source or manufacture products for luxury handbags and accessories. And, you know, they're stating that 90% of your luxury handbags from Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Hermes, etc., are being made in China. Now, I want to kind of shed some light on that because I have experience living in China, dealing with factories, but not specifically these factories, but I have talked to them and I have visited their factories. But, you know, I have import-export experience in China where I would help, e-commerce brands source products from China. And my job was to go around the entirety of China domestically to build relationships and shake hands with all these factories. And I came to this one factory which made handbags, and it was an actual district of them. You'd be amazed when you go there. But basically, long story short, they manufacture these handbags for these luxury brands. And they kind of make dupes of them, but these dupes are actually real. And they have different grades of them, depending on how much you can afford. Because in China, just remember, an average salary is like anywhere from $200 to $600 a month, right? And so they have to make handbags if people still want Louis Vuitton knockoffs that they're not made from real leather, but they're made from kind of like pleather type of stuff. But people can still have them even if they're not making too much money. But then they have the higher quality ones that are basically real, and they have the made in Italy, they have the serial number, etc., and people will buy them. And the reason why they made that was to give it access for a lot of different people for a cheaper cost, but still have the real ordeal, because they thought that it's ridiculous that companies are charging 500 to 1,000% more just to get that bag. Now, having said that, I think these videos are coming out because of the whole tariff ordeal, and it's kind of like a fuck you to these brands. But anyways, I think back in 2018, when I used to live in China, it used to be that they would source the products, like the European companies will source the products from China, like the entire leather roll and stuff, and they'll ship it to Europe, and then they'll do everything over there. Now, it's like 50% of it's made in China. So there's more likely of a chance that you have a product that is Louis Vuitton or luxury goods that is made in China or the European market.
Hi, this is your Chinese TikTok spy, and I wanted to ask people here on TikTok, has your algorithm lately been pretty much videos from China, basically showing you the secrets of the luxury goods market? But to be honest with you, I'm actually an American citizen, but I love the fact that China is just basically being very, very petty and exposing the entire luxury goods industry. For example, brands like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, Hermes. And I find it pretty hilarious and pretty petty that they're basically trying to just bypass these large companies and pretty much just encourage people to do direct to consumer. And personally for me, I actually don't really have that many luxury goods. I mean, I have like a belt, I have like a jacket, and I have like shoes from like Burberry and like Ferragamo. But it's really interesting to see how China is just basically trying to battle this entire trade war here with us here in the United States of America. And I'm actually living for it. So if you are receiving these types of videos from China, comment and let me know what you think, because I feel like as a country as a whole here in the United States, we are pretty much overpaying for pretty much everything because the markup is insanely astronomical.
I have already seen dupe videos of the Chinese guy who is talking about making you a purse direct from the factory and not having to pay luxury prices. I've already seen a dupe video of his on a scam account. So as much as we're getting a kiki out of the Chinese people trying to circumvent the tariffs, baby, I would just like to remind you, the motherfuckers scam just as much, if not more, than the Nigerians. So be leery, be wary, be careful, and be mindful of who you giving your credit card to on this goddamn app. Because once your American ass credit gets jacked up by a Chinese ass scam or any other scams that's out here on the internet, baby, you're not gonna get it fixed with this administration. So yeah, it's funny, it's kiki, it's haha to get around Mango Mussolini and his tariffs, but be careful.
More than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China.
Have you guys seen that TikTok video that the Chinese guy posted about exposing how luxury goods are made? Basically, most of the luxury brands we use every day are made in China, then shipped to Europe and sold to consumers at a premium. A wedding ring that we can buy for $2, they turn it into $2,000. China is the world's largest processing plant. You buy Gucci, 80% is made in China, Prada, 60% is made in China. Even Chanel, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, Adidas, Nike, etc. The only difference here is that China sends them to Europe and they put some little label on them that says made in France, made in Italy. It's ridiculous. While people are still criticizing Tem for being cheap and of poor quality, those expensive and good products that you think are made in France and Italy are actually from China. So what do you have to worry about? Come on, your MAGA hats are made in China. And now President Trump has imposed an additional 144% tariff on China. Vice President J.D. Vance called the Chinese peasants. They're out of line. If you don't let me do my business, we can't do ours.
Buying fake designer bags still makes no sense to me, regardless of what this man's saying. And the reasons why I say that is I've seen a lot of fake designer bags in my time. And there's always something off about it, whether it's the stitching, it's just the gold hardware might be different. Look at the Louis Vuitton Alma BB bag, for example. With that bag, you've got so much fakes out of there. And one thing I've seen across all the fakes is that the stitching is off. The gold hardware, the gold on the zips is off. Where the Louis Vuitton placement is off. And even if you get past those checks, cool, the bags look the same. You know, I don't even know why people need to buy fake designer bag. Just buy a regular bag that don't have any designers attached to them. You can literally buy a nice leather bag that has no designer brand on it. Do you know what I mean? Buying fake designer bags to me is absolutely ridiculous, but cool. I digress. We pass all those checks and the stitching looks the same and everything looks perfectly fine. But when you want to resell that bag, because I'm a businesswoman, yeah? When you want to resell that bag, what value does it have to resell? Tell me, because I can resell my bags any single day, any day of the week, and I could get something out of them. But when you spend a £500 or £400 on an amazing fake, guess what? It's still fake. So you can't resell it. You can't do anything with it. So that money's gone. So guys, like, just use your common sense. Honestly, I'm tired of seeing people investing in fake things. Just buy some normal shit. Aldo's got some nice bags. Primark's got some good stuff. Shein's got some amazing bits and bobs. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I do find something wrong with is people encouraging others to buy fake designer. I'll never be with it. Because to me, it just screams insecurity. It screams that you can't buy something, but then you're forcing yourself to create a narrative that you can live a certain lifestyle, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's just my 2 pence anyways.
This is why this bag from our factory only costs you 1,000 USD.
Have you all seen that TikTok by the Chinese guy exposing how luxury goods are actually made? Basically, he says most of the luxury brands we use every day are actually made in China, then shipped to Europe just to get rebranded and sold back to us at insane prices. Like a wedding ring that would cost $2 in China somehow turns into a $2,000 ring. China is the world's biggest manufacturing hub. 80% of your Gucci, made in China. 60% of your Prada, also made in China. Even Chanel, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, Adidas, Nike, you name it. The only real difference? China ships the products to Europe, slaps on a made in France or made in Italy label, and boom, luxury? It's ridiculous. While people are out here clowning Shein and Temu for being cheap and low quality, the expensive stuff you think is handcrafted in Paris or Milan? Yeah, that's made in China too. So what are you really worried about? Come on, your mega hat? That's made in China too.
While we're all talking about Chinese manufacturing, I wanted to show you my latest handbag, which is actually from a Chinese brand made in China. And let me tell you, like, I love it. Okay, this is not sponsored. I bought this bag with my own money like more than 6 months ago, probably. Here she is. She is like one of my favorite bags. And those who know me know I'm a luxury lover. Like, I've got my Birkins, you know, I've got Kelly's, I've got Chanel's, Louis Vuitton, like all of that, okay? I bought this because they were claiming that, you know, they use the same materials, the same craftsmanship, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay, what really sold it was like the big golden T for me. But I was like, I'm willing to give them a go because they look beautiful. And if they can do the same thing, but like in an original design, like not just a copy, but actually their own design, I'm interested. Now, don't get me wrong, this brand will make you dupes of the Hermes handbags if that's what you want, and like no judgment from me. I just wanted the original design because it's unique and I like unique. Anyway, I can put these side by side and like look at the leather, feel the leather, smell the leather, look at the stitching, like all hand stitched entirely, saddle stitched, just like these handbags. Gold plated hardware. But let me tell you, why I like this bag better, and why I tend to use this bag more than my Birkin. Firstly, this bag is like if the Birkin and Kelly had a love child, this would be it, because it's got the two handles, which I prefer, but it also has the strap, adjustable, of course. Then it's easier to get into, okay? Like you can just, this sort of clips, so you can just lift it up and you can get in. And then inside, there, oh, hold on. Got a coffee voucher, just ignore that. Anyway, okay, yeah, inside compartments. Like, look, there's this compartment. There's like a, hold on, a buttoned compartment here. There's this compartment here. There's the zipper compartment here. This is like divided. For those who don't know, the Birkin is just one giant compartment, which can be good in some situations, but for your day-to-day handbag use, it's not the most convenient. And so you end up buying these like inserts, you know, that have all the different pockets and stuff to put in there so that it's more practical. With this handbag, you don't need any other insert because there's already compartments. It's all leather lined inside, just like the Birkin, but there are these little compartments here where it's not hand stitched, but it's embroidered silk. Okay, like look how beautiful that is, and in here as well, like the little details like that, you're just like thank you. And you know, I get more compliments on this bag than any of my other luxury bags, and I think in particular because people don't recognize it, and so they're wanting to know like where I got it, which is cool. And here's the thing that I was thinking about, because you know, I've always wanted an ostrich bag from Hermes. Ever since I saw the Gilmore Girls and, you know, Rory got her like big pink ostrich Birkin, I've always been fascinated with the ostrich leather bags, and I've always asked if I could buy one. I've always tried to get one. It's been on my wish list forever, specifically a Kelly, specifically that like pink terracotta kind of, yeah, you know, whatever color. Honestly, they have never offered it to me. And I get it. I'm not like a VVIP customer, okay? I'm not even close. Like, I'm just average rich. I'm not like Becca Bloom level. That's a whole other stratosphere. But the point is, I always just told myself, oh, well, you know, I'm not like a, you know, big spending client, so I get it. Like, they're not going to give me the bag just because I want it. But now I'm like, hang on. What? Like, I wanted to buy something from them and they won't offer it to me. So you know what? Yeah, maybe I should go and speak to my friends in China. So yes, if this does ever reach any of my friends in China and you do know where to get nice ostrich leather sort of luxury type handbags, let's talk.
All right, who else is glued to Chinese manufacturer TikTok? Man, they are blowing up the luxury goods market. I think they're going to blow it up much more than Bethany Frankel did for Chanel. One that is going around a lot, Senbags, SEN. I recommend you follow them. The gentleman went through the entire breakdown of how they create an Hermes bag, which is valued at, if you buy it in the US, $38,000. He goes through like every single thing that they use, the exact quality of an Hermes bag that they make in their warehouse. And the US dollar cost is $1,400. The difference between the $1,400 of actual labor and resources and the $38K is when Hermes puts their label on it. And they make all of these other luxury oh my God. Look, I, you know, have been a big lover of like Target and Shein and Amazon for my clothing, because a lot of stuff is so heavily dupable now that like if I see something I like, you know, at Free People or in Anthropology, I'm immediately looking for a dupe, and it's very easy to find. But at this point, you know, if anyone is buying luxury goods anymore, I would have to ask, do you need your head examined? I'm here for it. Man, I'm loving this. Who else is glued to this?
Your Chanel cosmetics, 80% are made in China and cost only $5. They just add the logo in France and charge you 10 to 40 times the price. Close your eyes. If your Chanel cosmetics says made in China, will it feel cheaper? It's not about quality. It's about brand washing. Interesting fact, who makes Chanel cosmetics? 42% are crafted by Chinese artisans. We don't do cheap goods. We do understand luxury.
You know who is producing high quality accessories for those luxury brands like Chanel, Estee Lauder, L'Oreal? You're saying you're the supplier behind all these beauty accessories for those big luxury brands? La Brea, MAC, Chanel, Bobbi Brown, and even Rosewood Hotel.
Last week, we also received our order, Lois Den. Yeah, the comb like 20,000 pieces.
Like, wholesalers, it's 2024 and you still don't know who are the suppliers behind Dior? Their knitwears and cardigans are from Beyond Garments from Hangzhou. Beyond Garments is also the supplier behind many luxury brands from America and Europe like Sandra, Maj, Versace. Second, most of the Dior's cosmetic products are actually produced by Taiho Group, which is also the supplier behind Lancome and Loewe. Third, 24-hour packaging technology from Shenzhen provide exquisite packaging and bags for Dior. Of course, Dior has their own factories in many countries, supplies different products for them.
One production floor. Okay. Here you can see, here. So here is, you can have a lot of the quality standard details of each brands. All the newcomers have to study this kind of quality requirement. For example, what kind of needle to be used, what kind of thread to be used for the product. Okay, here's all of the details. All the newcomers have to follow, have to know, have to be clear, very clear about this quality standard. Okay, is a product floor. Can you follow me? I want to give you one example that, you know, we have to cutting everything. We start from here. You can see that we have all of the robots, okay? Yeah. This is some like finished products. It's a Spanish brand, okay? And you know this brand, right? I thought you know this brand, no? Yeah.
The bags come from China, but the leather comes from Nigeria. The bags are manufactured in China, but the leather, the exotic skins, the snake skin, the alligator, it comes from Kano, Nigeria. Come on in, let's talk about it. Yes, because I love that the Chinese manufacturers are coming on here and asserting that they are producing these luxury bags and luxury goods, but also Black people have a hand in that manufacturing by way of tanneries in Kano, Nigeria. So a tannery is an institution, a business in which you are converting animal products like skins, leather, suede, alligator skins, snake skins, all kinds of exotic skins into textiles so that they can be used for goods, clothing, bags. And Kano, Nigeria is world headquarters for this practice. And they have long since been headquarters for hundreds of years. So I interviewed during the pandemic a man named Winston, and he leads a business out of Kano, Nigeria called Winston Leathers. And they are actually a third generation tannery. So he confirmed that his tannery produces leather goods and exotic skins for brands like LVMH, so Louis Vuitton's portfolio of brands, Ralph Lauren, many other luxury brands. And I interviewed him on Twitter. I'll link to that thread so you can go back and read it. But yeah, he shared that this practice of providing exotic skins to the world, but specifically to China, goes back to the Silk Road.
Factory only cost you 1,000 USD, but even better quality and craftsmanship.
Have you guys seen those TikTok coming out of China? Oh my god, they're exposing the entire luxury industry. And it's nothing like what we thought. Turns out, most of these so-called luxury brands, they're made in tiny rented factories. Yeah, you heard that right. They just rent a little workshop, start cranking out products, and then slap on a fancy label like Chanel or Louis Vuitton. That's it. That's the big luxury secret. I was honestly shocked. If you haven't seen those TikToks yet, you need to. Chanel, Louis Vuitton, All those designer brands we always see on celebs, they're made in China, and then shipped here to the US to sell for thousands. What the actual hell? Trump, man, you should have let them keep going. Just let them keep fooling us Americans. But now we're starting to see the truth. We're seeing who's really been behind the curtain, quietly making money off of us all this time. And now, they're spilling all the beans. Because we know the truth now. We know how the game works. Chanel bags, makeup, the whole luxury scene, it's been one giant lie. I can't believe this. Like, seriously, they're done.
Come with me to check out China's biggest luxury wholesaler. Thanks to President Trump's recent tariffs, Chinese manufacturers for luxury brands like Hermes, Chanel, LV, etc. are coming out of the woods and offering direct sale to us peasants and the US at a pinch of the price. When you walk in, they hand you gloves because the goods you're about to handle are still the same top quality. I've never seen so many Hermes bags lined up in front of me, let alone try every size and color on like I'm in Walmart. Best part is there's no sales assistant stalking you. No upsells, and you're only paying 20% of the price. These only range from $250 to $500. That's a steal. Manufacturers are exposing luxury brands for what the bags actually cost. Now that Donnie's pissed off the peasants, all hell's broken loose.
This bag, of course you do. For the past more than 30 years, we have been the OEM factory for most of the luxury brands around the world. Gucci, Prada, Coach, Louis Vuitton, you name it. But for this, I am not proud because we were only making our wages. The profit margin for the people who are actually making the bags are very low. What I'm really proud of is that first, we have the best quality control. Two, we have the best craftsmanship. You know, Chinese craftsmen are always intelligent and diligent. Three, we have the most complete supply chain. We always get what we want, like zippers, accessories of any kind, any color, and leathers immediately. Now, as the USA and its little European brothers are trying to refuse Chinese goods, don't you think luxury brands are not trying to move their OEM out of China? Yes, they did, but they failed because the OEM factories out of China, they don't have good quality control and they don't have as good craftsmanship. Their workers are either too expensive or too lazy. Three, they don't have any supply chain. They always have trouble getting leather or zippers or any accessories. That is why they failed, and that is why we will always be the best OEM factory for luxury brands. Why don't you just contact us and buy from us? You won't believe the prices we give you.
This one for you, number 5, and which one, baby?
China, this is incredible. I am watching this the way that I watched the downfall of Diddy and the Hollywood elite. It is just such a long time coming. Okay, because I've traveled Southeast Asia, I've been to Vietnam, I have bought North Face jackets, hiking boots, pennies on the dollar. I have a whole closet full of it. So I've always known that this is a sham. But the way the Chinese are just completely unveiling the absolute robbery the entire world has experienced from these luxury brands, the age of Aquarius is Aquariusing, baby. I absolutely love it.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging.
You know, my favorite part about the Chinese factories showing Americans that luxury products are made in the same factories as like Walmart, Ross, etc. is that before, having like a Louis or a Gucci was a status symbol, right? And it was like, I can afford these things. And now that status symbol is like, look at the dumb schmuck who overpaid for Walmart quality nonsense. I'm like, don't get me wrong, I have some Louis Vuitton things, so I'm an idiot. And I bought them in my 20s after I got my first job in sales, and I felt like I made it, right? But, and I have two Gucci bags, but they're from the gate. Like, they're not real. I wasn't gonna pay a real price. I think I paid like $50 for each of them. And it's like, now when I see someone with those bags, I was like, huh, you're an idiot. Especially if it's a new bag. Like, if it's a new bag and we've just seen this, like, you're a moron, honestly.
The bags come from China, but the leather comes from Nigeria. The bags are manufactured in China, but the leather, the exotic skins, the snake skin, the alligator, it comes from Kano, Nigeria. Come on in, let's talk about it. Yes, because I love that the Chinese manufacturers are coming on here and asserting that they are producing these luxury bags and luxury goods, but also Black people have a hand in that manufacturing by way of tanneries in Kano, Nigeria. So a tannery is an institution, a business in which you are converting animal products like skins, leather, suede, alligator skins, snake skins, all kinds of exotic skins into textiles so that they can be used for goods, clothing, bags. And Kano, Nigeria is world headquarters for this practice. And they have long since been headquarters for hundreds of years. So I interviewed during the pandemic a man named Winston, and he leads a business out of Kano, Nigeria called Winston Leathers. And they are actually a third generation tannery. So he confirmed that his tannery produces leather goods and exotic skins for brands like LVMH, so Louis Vuitton's portfolio of brands, Ralph Lauren, many other luxury brands. And I interviewed him on Twitter. I'll link to that thread so you can go back and read it. But yeah, he shared that this practice of providing exotic skins to the world, but specifically to China, goes back to the Silk Road, when traders in Mali were providing leather goods up through Morocco and on into Asia. Moroccan leather is known for its quality, and Winston actually shared that Moroccan leather can be traced back to Kano, Nigeria, and is actually Kano leather. So I love all the conversation that Chinese manufacturers have started around like amplifying that those goods are produced and manufactured in China. I want to go a layer deeper and talk about how Black people are actually contributing to the manufacturing as well, because the leather goods and the exotic skins that make up those bags that they're putting together in China actually started on the continent of Africa, in Nigeria. Okay, let's talk about it. If we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about all of it. And sorry, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna put my brush down to talk about some bags that I love by Black designers. So this beauty is Antelope. This is by a brand called Brother Valet. A Black woman named Aurora James leads that brand. I still wear fur, don't kill me. I read a great New York Times article about how basically fur was phased out when Black women were able to access it in greater numbers.
Do you want to buy bag from China? This is my factory. I'm the least bags here in China. I have Kylie, Hermes, Dior, Gucci. No matter where you are, I can deliver the goods to you. Follow and come to me.